Hi guys. So we'll talk about the next visualization, which is reference lines. So these reference lines are basically used across any type of visualization. They are basically used to sort of draw lines which will be telling us the datas at each level. So I'll tell you how. Over here you can see this bar chart, and over here we have drawn these lines as average and minimum. So what these lines are doing is, when I have drawn a bar chart between sum of sales and category of products, then based on the sales we have done, this line is showing me that this is the average sales across the subcategories and this is the minimum sales. So I have highlighted this part. So basically these reference lines or these reference bands or reference distributions, they help us bifurcate our data on the visualization based on their values. So we'll see it in detail. Let me remove this visualization for you and draw it again. So basically I am drawing supposedly a bar chart, and I'm drawing the relationship between subcategory and product profits. So these are my relations, and when I label them, okay, profits, these are the profits generated by selling various kinds of subcategory of the product. And now if I would like to, supposedly, let me change the color. Blue we have used a lot. Let me change it to say purple. Now if I would like to add a reference line over here, so for adding a reference line over here, I'll right click on my measure over here. Okay, go to the add reference, and here I get four options. I get an option to add a reference line, I get an option to add a reference band, reference distribution, and reference plot. So I can use any of these. First of all, I'll tell you how to create a reference line. So I am creating a reference line over here, and it is asking me that would you like to create a reference line based on the value of sum of profit, or is there some other parameter you would like to use? So I would be using sum of profit only, and then it's asking me you would like to create a reference line on the average value, or on the minimum value on the scale, maximum value on the scale, or median value, or the average value. So I would like to draw it on the average value, and then it is asking me what should be the label computation. By default, when I just use computation, it shows me the average text, and when I'll be using a specific value, it will be showing the value, the average value over there. Then over here it tells me that the value, reference line which you will be drawing, what should be the color of that line, what should be the type of the line, whether it should be a normal line or a stacked line, what should be the width of this line, what should be color of the line. You can even add more colors. And then over here it tells me that the area below the reference line, do you want to shade it? So I would like to shade it to say blue. I am shading the area below, above the reference line, average reference line, as blue, and below supposedly I want to like do it something around pinkish. So when I press OK, then I'll see that I have drawn a reference line at the average value. This is the average profit across the subcategories, and the area above this I have highlighted grayish, and the area below this I have highlighted pinkish. So in this way I can draw a reference line across my values in a bar chart using the reference like concept. Now in case, instead of showing average value, average text over here, had I been wishing to add the exact value of the average, so for that what would I do? I would right click on the measure over here, go to edit reference line. Over here, instead of computation, let me use the value. Okay, and the area below and above, I would not like to have any sort of coloring, so I've done none. Now let me press OK. So now this is the average profit. Now over here, instead of average, I'm getting the average value of profit across the subcategories. This is the average value. So the products like I say arts, or maybe bookcases, or envelopes, or fasteners, they are generating profit which is below the average profit level. So the company at strategic level can think of discontinuing these products, because maybe that the profit generated them by, is even below than the average profit. And if the company wants to see that which all are the subcategory products which are generating profit which is higher than the average profits, then they certainly are copiers, chairs, binders, accessories, etc. And with them I also have phones and papers. So using these reference lines, the user can easily understand which all are the subcategory products which are high revenue generating, which are generating at least the average revenue, and which are the products which are generating the revenue even below the average. Apart from reference line, I can use other parts as well. So again, I'll right click over here, go to added reference. Now this reference line object gives us gives us four options: to add a reference line, to add a reference band, to add a reference distribution, or to add a reference box plot. But it is all visible when we click on the reference line. So within the reference line option only, we get all four of these options. So we have seen reference line. Now let's go and see reference band. So in the reference band, what it says is, now first of all it says asks us, as it asked in reference line also, that whether you would like to apply it on the entire table or the per pan or the per cell. So entire table you have understood. I'll explain you what is per pan and per cell. So if I do it per cell, then over here you will see that, just let me move this a bit. Okay, over here you will see that for each of these categories, subcategories, what is the average. Since over here I have not used some other parameters, so over here the value and the reference values are, the average values are same. So over here it doesn't matter as much, but I'll show you how it would create a difference. As of now I'm applying it to the entire table. Going to the reference band, now I would like to color the chart based on the sum profit and ranging. I have to start my band from and end my band to what level. So I have to mention that I'll be willing to stand my band from the average value, and I would like it to be extend to the maximum value, and the labels I would like the computation once only. So computation label means for average it will be visible as average, for maximum it will be visible as maximum. And would I be willing to have some lines? Yeah, I would like to just have orange lines. So this has created a separate reference band for me on the visualization. And over here, what is the color I would like to use? I have been wishing to use an orangish color and did an OK. So it has created a reference band over here for me. So if I would like to see that what all are the products which are lying in the upper band of the profit, then these are the products. So I can explicitly highlight them. Apart from having a reference band, I can add other features also. So I can have a reference distribution as well over here. So maybe that over here, instead of showing one band, I wanted to show multiple bands. What I can do is I can show based on percentages of average. Okay, so I want to show at 50%, 100%, and 100% of average. So I'm using sum of profit as my vertical scale, and I'm using the average. So at these three levels, I would be willing to see the bands. So I've done this. I've selected these three levels, and over here you can see that it has divided my entire visualization into three bands. This was my average line. So I've taken 50% below this, 50% above this. So these are my three lines, and this is the distribution I have created. Now instead of this, if I would have been willing to do it from say 0, that is minimal, to 20, then 40, then 60, followed by 80, and then 100 of the average. So it would change my entire visualization. It will change the bands. It will distribute the bands from 0 up to the average level into these six parts. Okay, basically these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these five sub parts. That is, I have distributed the entire this chart from 0th line to the average line into five equally distributed parts. That's why we use reference distribution. Now we have seen how to use reference distribution. Apart from this, we can also explicitly tell that what should be the color, what should be the line color and the line width, and all the context of the lines. And would you like to fill above, or would you like to fill below, or would you like to use the symmetry, reverse, or whatever you want? You can use whatever you want. Right now I wouldn't be willing to use any of these. And apart from this, like, would you be willing to use a computation labels, as we use 0% of average, 20% of average, and so on till 100% of average? Instead of this, if you would like to use the values, you can definitely use the values over here. And if what's the you will want in tooltip, you can customize that. If you want specific things to be written on the tooltip, you can definitely do that. So over here, apart from showing percentages, it also shows me the options of selecting percentiles, quantiles, and standard deviation. If I select quantiles, I get 4 quantiles. So I can select the quantiles I want, I can select the percentiles I want. So right now I'm selecting percentages, and I'm going to show only two, that is 50 and 100. And I would like no fill and then okay. So now again, let me go in edit reference. Let me go in distribution. I had done of the total, that's why it created a problem. I would like to have only of the sum. So when I do it only for the sum, you'll see the visualizations would change. I'm doing it for the average. So for the average, I wanted 50 to 100%. I can do that. Now instead of distribution, if I would like to have a box plot, I can do that as well. I can create a box plot. For each of these observations, a box plot will be created. What's the border I would like to use? Okay, and are there any whiskers I would like to use? So I'm using a whisker, which is this. So this is how the box plot will look like to me. Max extent of the data, hide the underline marks. So in this way also you can create box plots. Okay, although this isn't making much sense to you as of now, but if you will create reference lines over here, or if you would create drop lines over here, then it will make more sense. It's also a way of visualizing. So for creating various kinds of dashboards on Tableau, you are required to be creative. So for being creative, you need to explore various combinations of visualizations which you can use in Tableau, which usually other people won't use. So this is also a way of visualizing. So let me convert it back to the previous one. I'll just press Control Z and it will go to its previous forms. Okay. Okay, now I've got these two references, one at the 50% of the average and then one at the average level. Now over here, in case I would like to bifurcate these subcategories into bucketing them into categories. So you see over here, for each of these categories, a different pan has been created. So this vertical separation, this is known as a pan. Okay. So when I would be using a reference line over here, and I wish to use the line one in the per pan. So what will happen is it will create an average line per pan. Okay. Per category of the product, it will create an average sum profit line and it will draw over there. So you will see over here. So in case of furniture, the average profit is this. In case of office supplies, the average profit is this, and in case of technology, the average profit is this. So one thing you analyze from here, the across the categories, the highest amount of average profit comes from technology, and the minimum amount of average profits comes from furniture. So if I am in the strategic position in a business, I would basically be willing to discontinue selling these products in the category furniture. If I am a stakeholder and someone tells me that we would like to increase the revenue, so I would definitely say that for increasing the revenues, just start discontinuing the furniture business because it's giving us more losses than revenues. This can be a statement. So in this way, you can use reference lines per pan. Now, if you use reference lines per cell, what it will do is per cell for each of these subcategories, it will draw average reference line for you. So over here, it becomes quite shabby. It doesn't looks very good over here. So we are just doing it per pan, and instead of the computation average, I would like to see the values. So I'll see the average profit values in each. So over here, in case of furniture, the average profit is the lowest, around 4,000, and in case of technology, it's highest, around 36,000. So I think by now the uses of reference lines and reference bands, reference distributions, and the reference box plot. I think all these references are quite clear to you and how we'll use in visualization. So that's it for from my side for the reference line. We'll meet in the next chart type.